What is up? Welcome back to UHD. I am the 4K bad guy.
Number one in your hearts, number one on the field.
Cowboy One.
I am the real one. Thank you everybody joining us for another episode. UHD underrated horror discoveries. Um, and honestly, Nick, man, how you doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
First off, apologies for everybody. Usually we talk to you guys on Wednesday nights. But today is Thursday. Today is not Wednesday. This is Thursday, October the 27th. Um, personally, life dick slapped me yesterday.
Thirsty.
Sometimes shit happens, and unfortunately, life kind of rear-ended me yesterday. So unfortunately, big apologies for everybody who was ready for us to dig into the number 23. But we're one step closer to the weekend, and we are talking the number 23 Thursday night, October 27th. It's one day closer to Halloween, one day closer to the weekend. So, again, apologies that we skipped out on yesterday, but we are here live Thursday night, the number 23, which, if you guys are out there, you guys are watching, you guys are listening like you say you are, send in some comments. This was a listener pick. They emailed me at my show. But even this comment box right here on Imaswa Productions, it works. You guys comment all the time. Send us in some recommendations, and we'll review and talk about whatever you want to hear us talk about. So we'll throw some of that out a little bit later on too, I guess.
Since then, what have you tuned into, like movie wise?
Man, movie wise, well, I'm still on my Denzel kick. I'm watching a bunch of Denzel movies. I watched The Siege a few days ago. I watched Aladdin, the number 23, The Bone Collector. So been kind of watching a little bit of everything. Um, and if you guys hear evil noises in the background, I am being attacked by a gremlin. I fed that little sumbitch after 8 p.m. and yeah.
Oh.
But no. Yeah, I haven't got to tune in a lot to a lot of things. Been a real busy weekend last week. So, what about you? You check anything out recently that you want to throw out there? That was good.
That was good. Number 23, of course. I know a movie it's about to come on theaters. Is what the hell is it called? Is that new Possession movie, whatever?
Pray for the Devil.
Pray for the Devil. It's an interesting title for it.
But it's spelled pray like Prey. So I think that's a pretty smart title. I personally really want to check it out. I know it comes out tomorrow in theaters. But man, there's just so much out there right now. I want to check it out too.
I probably won't see it until like a few weeks or so.
It's PG-13, so I'm a little leery on PG-13 horror movies. But Barbarian came out on HBO Max. If anybody missed that out in theaters, that did come out on HBO Max. So if you missed it in theaters, I would highly recommend it this weekend. I haven't personally seen it yet, but Nick, I know you liked it, and a lot of other people liked it as well.
It was definitely a good watch. There have been rumors about the movie not getting a physical media release.
What?
But on someone else's channel, they said not to worry, that there will be one. That's because normally when they do when they announce their stuff, they'll tell you date for like the digital and then for the physical.
Yeah.
They just only did digital.
I think it'll be like one of those movies like Malignant. Malignant came out in theaters and on HBO Max, and then it took a while for it to come out on Blu-ray, I believe. So hopefully Barbarian will hit a physical media release. I say that like I'm going to go pick it up day one. I haven't personally bought anything in months. I'm slacking.
You're slacking.
So, yeah.
Even though I have like a load of stuff. Just want to show off a few stuff that came out. I guess this week. I think it was
You're gonna show off your load.
a little. It's a little tiny. A few items.
Little tiny load.
What came out of this week? We got bodies, bodies, bodies. Of course. Holy shit! 824. And this is the 4K edition. This is Best Buy exclusive. Not sponsored, by the way.
I'm in the house bored.
We got Return of the Living Dead in 4K Screen Factory release.
Nice.
Got to add it onto my collection. And something I should have had maybe like last week. The Ring, Steelbook.
Steelbook, The Ring.
Unfortunately, they didn't do their cover like Lionsgate the clear, but just like a regular cardboard.
Those lazy motherfuckers.
Still good though. Maybe the Paramount. What do you expect? They gave us the collection of Paramount City, so I can't be too mad at them.
Can't be. You know what they could have done? They could have put out a fucking 4K release.
For what? Oh, the Ring?
The Ring.
I don't know. They're real testy on things. I think a lot of studios, whatever, like not confident that things will sell, even though people will buy. Yeah, they're testing waters with that, of course. What do we got? The Snaps is in the crew.
The Snaps is so. I was gonna read it off if that'd be fine. We're talking the number 23. Walter Sparrow becomes obsessed with a novel that he believes was written about him, as more and more similarities between himself and his literal alter ego seem to rise. Starring Jim Carrey, Virginia Madsen, Logan Lerman, Danny Hudson, Lynn Collins, written by Fernley Phillips and directed by Joel Schumacher. This movie kind of has some crap reviews, I guess. I don't know. I've heard about it a lot of times, but I haven't seen it until this week. On IMDb, it's got a 6.4, but on Rotten Tomatoes, man, it's got a 7%. Ouch. Yeah. But it only had a $35 million budget, but it didn't get that much at the box office, man. It grossed a little over $76 million at the box office. So, little disappointing numbers, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it in theater the first time. I think it was what was it? Was it Netflix? When they doing the mail delivery.
But it came out February 23rd, 2007.
2007. What else came on that decade? Well, that year, should I say? 2007.
2007 had a pretty big release. It was a pretty big year in film. But honestly, this kind of had a sneaky. I mean, it was thrown out there because it was one of Jim Carrey's first movies that he wasn't doing comedy. So, but even this was a listener pick. You want to go first as far as ratings go?
Threw me at the bus in the movie. Those ratings, I don't know if they're really fair, to be honest. It was harsh. Of course, Rotten Tomatoes is usually wrong on things. As far as rating this movie, where would I go? I think I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with 4.
Oh.
A 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5.
Oh man.
Knives. that too high for everyone? Nah, it's not. It's
It's not. Um, man, I really wanted to understand and like this movie. Uh, I think I'm gonna give this a 2.
half of my rating.
Half of your rating, a 2 out of 5. Um, and we'll get into it as we dig into the movie, or if you want, we can just chop into it now if you want.
I'm about to say anything about this non-spoilery. This is not one of those regular movies that you can just watch. It's like, oh, this is a simple thing because this whole story is kind of really all over the place. It's kind of a makes you think type of movie.
Yeah. You know, I kind of, just overall, I wasn't in love with the movie like I probably felt like I should have been. Um, so I don't know. I just did not enjoy it at all, and I don't see myself ever wanting to pick this up and watch it again. I know that
Mm,
seems kind of
hurts.
harsh.
Was it Jim Carrey's Hereford, or was that why?
I know this isn't a traditional horror movie, but I do think like
Well, it's more thriller, really. But it finds its place in the horror genre.
I mean I think it could be probably a little bit it could be a little bit more overall better in certain spots. Um,
The truth will find you.
the truth will find you. I think for just for an hour and a half movie, I think it was throwing way too much and trying to be something it's not. Like I feel like it was trying to be something like Seven. I don't know if anybody's seen David Fincher's Seven with Brad Pitt, but I just feel like this was around the time. I mean, I just talked about it on Monday with the Bone Collector. I feel like movies like Seven, The Bone Collector, Silence of the Lambs, these cop thriller movies and psychological thrillers around the early 2000s, they were all just being shoved down our throats. And everybody just saw the success of Silence of the Lambs. Everybody saw the success of Seven. And they were like, let's push out as many psychological thrillers as possible and see what sticks. So I think that's the kind of relationship I have with the number 23 right now. It felt like, oh, Jim Carrey's a hot comedian actor. Let's throw him in a psychological thriller and see if we can't come up with something that works. And Joel Schumacher just got done. Let's face it. Let's be honest here. Joel Schumacher just got done in 2007. 10 years earlier, he murdered the Batman franchise by putting out Batman and Robin. And, he was already being completely thrown under the bus anyway. So I think he was just in such a hurry to get that past decade behind him. I think anybody was like, oh, he can give us a nice psychological thriller. So I think the whole pot of just let's hurry up and put something out that maybe can resemble Silence of the Lambs or Seven was just done too fast. And I think there's way too much story in an hour and a half movie that you're just like, at the end of the movie, you're just like, what the hell am I watching? Is he dreaming? Is he not dreaming? Is that really about him? Did he meet Laura before, or was he crazy and then he met Laura and then he got crazy again? It was just playing too much. That's my biggest downfall of it was there's too many plot holes, and I just I didn't know what to believe at the end of the day because everything was just thrown at you in 90 minutes.
Mm. There's one big positive about this movie. I mean, it's just Jim Carrey overall. It's one of those movies that he can show like besides comedy, it can go for a serious role. Even though there's a little comedic part of him, but not so much. It's like I need to be serious, Jim. Um, this is my second initial watch, so I don't know. Like this is like I said, you gotta really be focused when watching this movie because if you like you shut your eyes or you just look away and this you might miss something important about the movie. But I don't know. It's just the idea of the number 23. I don't know for everyone else, but I mean, it was like when you think of the number 23, you think of Michael Jordan, or like for me, since I'm actually a Dr. Pepperaholic, I think this is like a little before they rebranded to 23. Not sponsored, but there you go.
Nick, if you need somebody to talk to about Dr. Pepper, it's okay. You don't have to have a Dr. Pepper every night you come home from work.
Some people have alcohols, then then there's me.
I'm just teasing. Um,
Teasing.
but yeah, no, that's a good point. You know, and I mean later on in Film Facts we'll talk about the number 23 and why Jim Carrey really wanted to do this movie and how this movie had been set for years for him to do it. Um, Jim Carrey was not really the negative part that I had about the movie. If anything, he was the reason this movie gets a two. Him and Virginia Madsen. I thought they were terrific together. If you guys want to know why that name sounds familiar, she is the actress from Candyman. She's the original blonde, curly-headed girl. She's the original victim from the first movie. So
Nice. Well, when I saw her, she looks very familiar. I just couldn't put where she came out from. Normally, I'll look up on my phone, see like who's playing who, or I know this person from. But like I said, when you're watching that movie, you can't really look away. You gotta be full on focus on this movie. Um, but I mean, if since we're like on Jim Carrey, but like if we're just going purely on Jim Carrey, I would have got a 5, straight up 5. But um, the story is kind of a bit confusing, but I like how things kind of tied together, like little puzzle pieces. Um, like the beginning of the movie, well, skipping over to his because Jim Carrey in this movie, he's like his dark catcher. You get that little moment. I mean, do you
he's
really
a
need that moment?
he's a pet detective.
And I was like going through my mind, like he's over here reprising his role as Ace Ventura, dog catcher. It's like you need that scene, but not really. But there's a part in the scene where it plays on the
I
dog.
think I think there yeah the dog Ned. I think
Yeah,
there's a lot. I think there's a lot of parts that could probably be maybe cut from the movie. I'm not too sure. I didn't watch the unrated version, so I don't know how much longer that is from the theatrical version.
I
I just
watched the unrated version, so
how
yeah,
how much longer was that? Was it hardly was it just 8 minutes or something like that?
I didn't look at the duration.
Um, but I mean, you have after he gets bit by the dog, you get the original or the first detective story really about fingerling, I guess.
Finger.
So like Virginia Madsen's character finds the book because he was late. So I do like how that part's tied in, like he's talking to like none of this would happen if, and then
Like had I gotten there on time, this wouldn't have all happened.
yeah
Um, that was a nice little cool shot going on there. Like she's always just walking back and forth with the cake that she has, and because on the end of the day it's taking place, it's his birthday, February the 3rd, which is 23 when you put those numbers together. um, but yeah, she just that red book catches her eye. It's like the number 23. Have you ever had a moment like that where you just see something like there's a whole lot of other shit or surrounding the thing, but then there's just that one thing popping out. Like I mean, yeah, it's just a movie. They'll sit there on purpose. But what are the chances?
I haven't sat there and like maybe like something like that happened. Um, I've had, I mean, going back to like movie buys and stuff. Like I've been on the verge of like on the hunt for something, and I look for it in a dream and I can't find it. But then like a few days later in real life, I'm at the movie store looking, not even looking for it. I'm like, oh shit, I was dreaming about that. I was looking for that, and I find it. And I think that's like the coolest shit ever. Um, if that's what you're kind of meaning.
Your wet dreams?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just like I even say it for like figure collectors or statue collectors or whatever. There's always that one big piece that just sticks out. But I like how she just just finds it like, I got this book, the number 23. Um, but from going after that scene, she buys him the book, and they're having like a party to get together. It's really more of his wife's friends. He's like, why do we gotta hang out with your friends? It's like, cause you don't have any friends. It's like, shit.
Oh, the Christmas party.
Well, yeah. Am I getting the dates mixed up?
No, you're
It's the
no, you're
birthday.
right. Yeah, you're right. I'm off. The
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I remember there is that the day pops up as December 23rd, but as I come after or before?
I think it's after because the Christmas party is where she's sick and he goes alone, right? And then yeah, see that's the kind of thing, I'm kind of like upset about the movie for. Like I don't think it had to be that complicated. You're trying so hard to throw the viewer off that you just end up fucking up the entire plot. Like there's just smart ways to do it. Like, and I don't mean to really, I do mean to bash on this film because like you could take a movie like Shutter Island, and the whole thing is fucking complicated, and then by the end of Shutter Island, you're caught up, you know what's going on, but you're still mind blown because of how perfect Martin Scorsese did the directing with Leo and Mark Ruffalo and everything at the end of that movie. But like with this one, you can just kind of tell it's a big giant fucking mess, and I don't know, like stuff like that is like just a little upsetting because you have those two dates that are very very similar, and like I said, you remember him going to the Christmas party while she's sick staying at home, but then another breath in another cutscene, it's his birthday and he's late, so he meets her at like a library or like a bookstore, and so I mean that's kind of where you're a little irritated at the plot, at least for this movie, just because I feel like the director and the writing is just throwing so much at the viewer all at once. I don't know. That's just me.
But like, I was like, what does he even get for like the part? Because I mean, essentially, I mean, he gets the book for his birthday, isn't it? Or that's not the Christmas gift.
She's looking at the book in the bookstore while he's late.
Not telling us. But yeah, after that moment, he just obsesses. He starts reading to the book.
It's on
Yeah,
his birthday. It's on his birthday. Walter. Yeah. It's on his birthday. He's late to pick up his wife, as she's browsing at a bookstore. So.
Yeah, when they get home, they're kissing in the front porch, and his son's over there trying to get it on with some girl, and Jim pops in. He's like, "Oh, let's go back outside." He's trying to be the cool father, let his son get away with it. But yeah, but there's the moments when he started diving into the book itself, and he's just playing out as him and I guess his wife's friend. I can't remember what role he really plays. He's just like the guy who's constantly there with him. Like he's playing out the story around people
Isaac
that he knows.
Isaac plays or Danny Hudson plays Isaac French, or Dr. Miles Phoenix, depending on what part of the movie he's in. Um, but even that story is kind of weird because in real life they give off the vibes like he's fucking around with Agatha, and you're like, is this part of the reason Jim Carrey's character is getting thrown off too? Is what are they sprinkling with this guy? So
He's very sus.
yeah, correct.
He's there to he this guy could potentially be the killer. That's what they're trying to lead you to believe, or something along the lines. Even though in this little fantasy story that uh, Jim Carrey is telling visually in his head, uh, which is weird. It ends up playing again towards the end of the movie with actually the real people that are involved.
Yeah.
So you're kind of seeing the stuff replay again, just
But
different
see,
characters.
that's another thing that I wasn't really upset about, but I was like, the whole time they're sprinkling some seasoning on this whole murder mystery, like who could be the killer, and at the end of the day, probably I would even say maybe 45 minutes into the movie, you're like, why are you teasing it's anybody else? It's Jim Carrey, right? Like it's him, but I don't know.
It's trying to mislead you. You think you know it all, but nah, it ends up being Jim Carrey. But I was like, but how does he forget and everything? Like,
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of fishing around the idea of like, how did he forget? Um, or does he have kind of like? I was almost fishing along with the whole me, myself, and Irene. Another comedy that Jim Carrey did. Does he have an alter ego that he slowly is starting to let out, like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde kind of story? Um, and then you get caught up in all the nightmares, the Suicide Blonde, the detective story with Fingerling, and then you have the old guy in the middle of the film who, Agatha, like he passes away after the attack, and Agatha sees the number 23 and all the stuff written on his wrist, and you're like, oh shit, now what's going on?
it's like here are the coordinates right here to this
Yeah.
place. You'll find it. Like the prophecy has been fulfilled.
Or the scene where Jim Carrey, I guess we can call him by his name, where Walter goes into the hotel, and I'm like, oh shit, now what are you doing with this hotel? Is it going to be like, are you trying to throw some 1408 shit on me? Like, what the fuck are you doing? I don't know. I just kind of got mad with how the story was just so spread. It was completely messy for me. I don't know. I'm getting hot. I'm irritated. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like this movie. I love Jim Carrey. I think, probably behind Adam Sandler times 10, he's one of my favorite comedians. And I've seen him in some other really good dark movies. But this one to me just kind of was all over the place.
He was doing reprising his Ace Ventura and Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah.
um, he or like just to make a comparison, he was having a Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe, when he would switch out from Norman to the Green Goblin.
And I guess because the music resembled Joel Schumacher films in the past, I don't know if you're a big watcher of Joel Schumacher, but the soundtrack and the score to this movie was like, there were some Batman Forever vibes in there, some Batman and Robin vibes, and I'm like, what the fuck is George Clooney about to break out and attack the Riddler, or what's going on?
He's gonna pop out because the scenes are gonna pop
Because,
out in the sexy scenes.
yeah, because some of the score just sounded just like a Batman movie from the '90s, and I'm like, dude, change it up a little bit. Even when Jim Carrey was rambling about the numbers, it sounded like he was talking in a riddle, and I was like, okay, anytime now he's gonna say, "Riddle me this." I said, I said it 2 weeks ago, in the trailer. When he was rambling in the trailer, I was like, "Riddle me this," and sure enough, when I watched it, I was like, "Damn, he really does sound like he's about to spit off a riddle in this fucking movie." Um, I don't know. That's probably just me nitpicking and being kind of salty at the film, but uh, I don't know, man. Number 23 just got a 2 for me, so I know it's missing a whole nother letter or a whole nother number.
He means to give it another 3.
Yeah. But what about you though? Instead of me just shitting on this movie, what's some of the stuff you enjoyed about it? Because you did give it a 4. Did you enjoy some of the eerie creepiness of just the whole concept of the number 23 haunting this man? Or did you, what's some of the stuff you really liked about it?
Yeah, I was interested of like where this is all gonna lead to. Really, just in with number 23, all of much of whole shit equaling to that number. Is it an evil number? Is it a good number? But I guess I want to. I don't know. It could be one of those things like where you don't need the answer to it, but I would like to know what makes this number so evil. It's like it's probably the thing that makes Michael Myers go crazy. um, but the fact that he's questioned the times where he questions himself, like, am I a danger? Am I a killer? But just overall, like visually, I think that so there's some cool stuff shot there, but story wise, I don't know. Like it's not too basic of a story, but it's stuff. It's really just Jim Carrey overall. And his acting that it kind of holds it up.
Yeah.
If it had been someone else, like I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you. Like, I know Wangasm moment's coming up, but like, I really do think he's the whole reason this movie even gets a 2 from me.
Which sex scene is gonna get Wangasm?
Like, if he wasn't in this movie, I think this would be completely unwatchable. Say you throw somebody in there like I don't even know, like a John Cusack, who was kind of popular around this time. He just got done doing 1408 as well, and I'm bringing that back up. But you throw somebody in there like a John Cusack or a fucking, I don't know, a young Matthew Broderick, or a fucking I don't know, just somebody from that time, maybe even man, I don't know. But you throw somebody in there like that, and I don't think this movie like can hold up against anything. Jim Carrey really outdid himself in this movie, and I still feel like I'm not going to pick it up and watch it again.
John Cusack, I don't know. I mean, it's just a bit too on the nose. I think John Cusack could. I mean, I don't know. Just because he's already did 1408, he probably would have been a good. But
the only person, or even a young Ethan Hawke around this time, like I still don't think anybody could have pulled it off. Jim Carrey, I think, was okay, but even when he's writing on himself, I'm thinking of fucking Liar Liar when he's writing about the pen is blue. The pen is blue.
Need to write.
I got a fucking blue pen right here.
Oh shit! Yeah, the answers to everything. What do you have like behind that banner? Nothing but 23s on it.
Yeah. So the only person that probably could have saved this movie is Matthew McConaughey.
All right. And anytime he's about to go for a kill.
But I know it probably sounds like I'm really harping on this movie, but I mean, personally, to me, I just thought it was a mess of a film. I didn't even like the the scene, the institute scene where Agatha Virginia Madsen is going through the institute. You got some dark horror like scenes in that segment. Um, but at the end of the day, what did she really accomplish?
Not a goddamn thing with that.
Um, the
uh,
scene where Jim Carrey, Walter, and his son Robin, fucking coincidence, Robin,
Batman and Robin.
the Riddler and the Robin, no, uh, even when they're digging in the grave and they see the bones, yeah, they go get the cop and come back and the bones are gone, makes him look like he's psycho crazy. But again, at the end of the day, what's the payoff to any of these scenes? Is the payoff him jumping out the window, not killing himself, proving that he was guilty and proving that he was psycho? But then the movie takes a 360 and you're like, oh, that was 15 years ago. What's the payoff then, really? The payoff is that Virginia Madsen's character didn't know that he was really psycho and crazy before she met him? Or is that the movie just fucking with you?
Maybe she knew the whole time. I don't know. There's that scene where like they're talking about, like, well, whenever you came out of the thing, you were starting over again, and she said whenever she met him, that's when she's starting over again. It's like, so is there about to be like one of those stories where she's also fucked up, also she's crazy? But no, it doesn't play out that way.
It felt like a fucked up episode of Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. But yeah, going back to the scene where she's in that institute area and they just kind of cut out. You see a guy behind her. I was like, it's more likely that her friend, the older guy, or whatever. I was like, oh, it's gonna be him. No, it's not, obviously. But they find out at that moment that it's Walter, and of course that's why they take the bones away and they try to cover up for him.
Yeah. Then you have the whole saxophone scene, which it feels like they're trying to go towards an ending with the saxophone, and you're like, what the hell?
The saxophone.
And then you have the scene where there's I don't know. This movie just feels like it's a little all over the place.
It was
What'd you even think of the ending? When he's in the middle, standing in front of the bus, and you think he's going to take his own life, then his son sees him, he steps away from the bus. What did you ultimately think of the ending and what happened?
It's bullshit.
Well, say somebody out there hasn't seen it yet, unless you're under a rock like I was, the number 23 it's not available really anywhere to stream, I don't think, but it is available to rent or own on Amazon. Amazon Prime for $2.99. You can rent it. So let everybody know what kind of really happened to Jim Carrey at the end, and what did you think of the ending?
I mean, instead of jumping out of the building like he did the first time, he tries to step in front of the bus, which I'm surprised that bus driver didn't bother to stop. He's like, oh, huh. I like, bet I'm gonna run your ass over. Why do you think I won't run your? But
hell yeah, that bus driver's like, hell yeah, I get some paid days off if I get in an accident.
Nasty. Attempted murder. See, what the hell, bro? I think that was bus 23.
Yeah, blame it on the brakes.
Bus 23 is evil because that's the number was 23. Do you think that was kind of a similarity whenever Walter was gonna try to run over the dog Ned?
Yeah, so Jim Carrey tries to fucking run over the dog, and he completely just chickened out because Ned tried to hurt him, and Jim Carrey gets this opportunity. I know people are like, oh, he tried to run over a dog. Now that dog's evil. There ain't no issue. You wouldn't have got upset if Cujo tried to get run over.
Oh, to Walter is evil, but whenever after the movie is already over, you're like, oh, okay. Now this dog's only pissed off because you killed its owner. So it just ties back to like the dog's sense. Or I don't even know the dog witnessed it. Probably not, obviously. but this dog somehow had some sense. So you're the murderer. I need you to remember what you did.
Yeah.
It's a nice little, I don't know, thing they put in there. But after Walter survives he survives his attempted suicide. Um, he hugs his son. He drops his little dagger, knife, whatever he had that he was gonna pretty much, uh, I wouldn't say threaten his wife, but he was like, oh, it was like one of those moments like, so you want me to kill you? I will. But he's like, I can't do this. um, he ends up, I think, the kind of doing like a voiceover, and it's like, no, there would be no justice if I killed myself.
Yeah.
So the next best thing is to turn myself in. And he goes, pretty much
And,
gets
and that's it.
that's it. He wanted to go the good guy route.
And I know, this is just a movie review, and we're talking about a movie with suicide in it. We're talking about Jim Carrey, so it's not like, don't take any of the stuff that we say literally, or don't take any of it serious. But um, the movie does have suicide attempts in it, and of course, we're talking about it since we're reviewing this movie. Um, but don't think that you're alone. If you're out there and you just listen upon these words, text 988 or dial 988 for any kind of like help, or if you just need somebody to talk to. Somebody's always on the other line, and somebody's always trying to listen. Even if you want to mention and talk, send us a private chat. Like if you don't even want to call anybody on the 988 number, send us an email or send us a message here, and somebody's always available to talk to. We can talk movies. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of left a little empty tummied by the end of this movie. Um, and like I said, maybe the last 20 minutes I was like, you know what? Oh, it's kind of do it's kind of like, where are we going with this movie? And then the ending is like, oh, maybe there is some promise at the end. No, he's just going to give us the old Batman and Robin Joel Schumacher ending. We get to go home disappointed. At least that was me. What did you like the ending? Did you were you in love with the ending,
Was
or
the happy ending?
yeah, or did you at least feel content with the ending?
Oh man, I think he. It sounds a little messed up. I think he should have went out, getting shot or something like that. Not even like just out of someone protecting himself. Like it could have been his wife or his son. I can't imagine he went like told. I mean, he was already going batshit crazy, but he just took it a step further, trying to attempt to kill someone actually. And yeah, they kill him off.
So you think you would have liked it a little bit better if maybe you got to see him do a little bit more damage?
When they raised it, he was going back to that state.
Yeah.
Mm, maybe. He probably could have just killed his wife's friend.
So overall you did kind of like it though, except for just it was a little empty to you too.
How it wrapped up. Yeah, I think that's where it doesn't get there.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did enjoy that little moment where him and his son were like coming up with the numbers and all that. Like our address adds up to 23 and all that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I know 2 is a low rating. I'm kind of shitting on it, but I do think there were some good scenes in it with Jim Carrey and the boy, Robin. Um, like I said, 2 is low, but to me it's a high number because of what Jim Carrey was able to do in this movie. So even if you're a Jim Carrey fan like I am, like I think I'm at least glad that I watched this movie so I can say, oh, I liked it. I didn't like it, but I liked that I got to see Jim Carrey in this role, and I think he did as best as to his ability. He's not any of the reason why I hate this movie. So This honestly sounds just like the Bone Collector review that I did last week for the Denzel Washington movie. Like Denzel was absolutely amazing, but the movie and the story was just not there.
This movie needed more sex and murder. That's that bad. I need more. So why do you need more sex?
It needs more good shit.
Needs more. Imagine if, like at the end, like there's just some. I don't know how the ultimately didn't pay off at all, but like the 23 evil number, it uncovers like some kind of. So I don't know. It's like some demonic creature. I don't know. sounds a little silly, but I don't know. Maybe there should have like something like a cult, or I don't know. Instead of just like, oh, yes, my dad. It's my dad's fault that the number 23 is stuck with me.
Mm.
It's like a sickness.
Wow.
Oh. Get down with the sickness.
Yeah.
Which sex scene was your one gasm moment? Now, what the hell?
My favorite movie moment. Honestly, I thought it was a pretty dope scene where Jim Carrey killed Agatha, and he thinks he killed her, and he rolled over and he's like, "Oh my God, this can't be true. Are you not dead? Please wake up! Please wake up!" And it was a nightmare. I think so. I think some of the dark nightmare scenes that Jim Carrey's involved in were kind of cool moments. But I'm gonna pick that one to be the one gasm moment of the episode.
I thought that was pretty
of the movie.
That was a pretty awesome scene. Just to make you like, oh, did I kill him? No, but you obviously it's known as nightmare, but just the fact that he wakes up and then it's the same time at 11, 12.
Yeah. I also want to take a timeout, and I would be like, you know what, number 23. Everybody knows whose number that is and knows what the number means. I would even be like, I would have added in, he's my favorite basketball player. There's no coincidence. Michael Jordan's number is 23. I don't know. I think that would have been cool. Fuck me though, right? I don't know anything. I wouldn't have. I
mean, that's opportunity.
I wouldn't have done anything better with Batman and Robin.
Dr. Pepper 23 can get the sponsor, so that didn't make it anyway.
You know, people's gonna listen to this or watch this and be like, "You're just upset because he directed Batman and Robin. Leave the man alone." That's true. How can you fuck up a Batman movie? Why do you give the Batman nipples? What the fuck's wrong with you?
Because people wanted bad nipples on figures.
I'm hot, man. I'm pissed. Fuck Joel Schumacher.
You need to fill the nipples.
Rest in peace. I'm sorry.
Oh. My one.
I just don't see how you fuck up a Batman movie. Next week, what we're talking about.
What the hell? Skipping over. Yeah, you don't need to know my one gasm moment.
What about you? What do you what would be your favorite scene?
I can't think of I think you took my seat. Down to just the part when she's like, you wouldn't hurt me, and like he's like, well, how do you know? I know I wouldn't. It's like,
yeah.
Guys.
Or what was a cool scene too is when he fell asleep and her name was on his arm, right? Like kill Agatha or kill somebody
on
his arm. Like he wrote that on his own arm.
Was that on his arm? Or was it like on a note paper? I don't know.
I think it was on his arm.
Killer. I don't know.
Yeah, he was asleep and she looked at his arm like, oh fuck.
Oh, when he was counting the shoes, 23 fucking pairs.
Yeah. Like, bitch, you go through his phone enough. Now you're looking at his arm and what he's writing on his arm. Leave the man alone. Jeez.
He threw away the pair of shoes.
Yeah. Let him write what he wants to on his own damn arm.
I was like the scenes where he's the detective and it's this story. Just that scene where he's crouched over like in the that freaking alleyway.
The her.
His hair slicked back. Like that's a good look for him.
That would have been funny if I said my Wangasm moment is the part in the movie where he's trying to get out of the rhino butt ass naked, and I'm like, oh wait, no, never mind. That's Ace Ventura Pet
What?
Detective Part 2. Have you not seen Pet Detective Part 2? Oh yeah.
I've seen Ace Ventura movies. Just random Jim Carrey scenes. What were you watching? I just wanted to see. It's all yes, man. What the hell? He still kept saying yes to everything.
Red Bull.
Film facts. What do you got for film facts?
Film facts. Jim Carrey claims to have been obsessed with the number 23 long before being part of this movie. His production company is actually called JC23 Entertainment. It was a coincidence that his father was actually an accountant too and played the saxophone just like his character in the movie. Huh. Holy shit. Jim Carrey was paid $23 million to act in this movie. $23 million. I don't know if I'm more shocked that it's 23 or that he got overpaid to be in this fucking movie.
What'd you pay him? 23,000.
20, this is the 23rd project Joel Schumacher has directed. If you ask me, that's 22 way too many. The DVD contains exactly 23 chapters.
What about the Blu-ray? The best.
And then I'll end it with this one. At the time of his death, Joel Schumacher had made exactly 23 theatrical films. Unbelievable. Goosebumps right now. I don't know if that's good or bad, but yeah, that's kind of crazy.
$23 million.
That's kind of crazy.
He's obsessed with the number already, so it just sounds like it was based off of real life from.
Yeah.
His dad and all that.
This is kind of a fun little segment, though. The next one. Oh, my bad.
Okay. To be continued.
To be.
What are you gonna follow up on his life and
I've been shitting on it all episode. I might as well continue to go. No, I don't think there should have been a continuation. I think something like this, would be cool if it showed you, if you didn't get the prequel shots in the movie, and maybe whether it's the book that's possessed or the book that's evil 23 or whatever, I think it would make a okay continuation. I wouldn't want to see a continuation, but I think it would be a little bit cooler to see like prequel shit. But as far as like a sequel, no, I wouldn't have been interested. What about you?
So like what, like the book itself's like a possessed item or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes the person evil.
Yeah.
That'd be a cool concept. There was the pages themselves, like whatever he was going through, I think every 23 pages it said, and every 23rd word, how he just circle out and deliver a message. Like,
yeah,
cool.
every 23rd chapter.
Every 23rd. Something like every 23rd page or
some shit like that.
Just making some words.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that would be a cool idea. There's just the book the whole time. But he's essentially the author of the book.
Essentially.
He is the author of the book.
Okay.
What is he? What the hell? Didn't you just watch that movie? It's him. Or is it not?
It's him.
It's him. There are no movies just like saying,
man,
this movie, this book is about me. And his wife's like, oh, shut the fuck up. This book's not about you.
Yeah.
Are you sure? Everything's there. It even has that porno mag I had when I was a kid. I don't know. It's like it's. I think it's just a one and done film, really.
Yeah. I would agree.
Well, the number 24. That wouldn't make sense at all. Or you reverse it, it's number 30, 32
Number 23, part 2.
times 2
Yeah.
times 3. But that was the review of the movie of this movie 23. This is one of those love or hate movies, I guess. You're gonna love it, mainly for Jim. Or you're gonna hate it. But two's a fair rating for you. I mean, it's higher than the Leprechaun, which I still so amazed by that.
Leprechaun got a 1.
A one. I don't know if people feel about that. Like, oh, what?
Fuck that little bastard.
23. I mean, it's an underrated film. It definitely has that title.
Yeah.
But thank you to the person that recommended seeing this film. It's not our usual horror type movie, but it's more in a thriller. But I'll consider it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a fun little review, a fun watch. And whether it's good or bad, we get on this podcast, this video stream, and it's worth the conversation. I mean, for the last 57 minutes has been a fun conversation. So, and I think it's good. It's good to have a diverse conversation, because if every week we both just wangasm over something that we loved, I don't think it would make for a fun conversation every week. We both can't just go every single hour of the day. Yeah. We'd be dehydrated.
Oh. I didn't hear no. There's it lacked gasms in the movie. No. That's what it was. No. But if you want to follow us, you can follow us at the 4K Bad Guy.
These are all Instagram profiles too, if you're listening audio wise. Like Nick said, like Nick said, you can follow him at
I said us, right? Yeah, me and Juan share the account, the 4K Bad Guy.
You can follow Nick at the 4K Bad Guy. Nick, where can they follow the Friday the 14th podcast on the Instagram?
Friday the 14th podcast UHD.
The D is silent. And then you can follow anything that we do on Mondays or on the Cinnamon Movie Podcast. The Instagram is all one word. And the Instagram is Cinnamon Movie Podcast, all one word, CINEMEN Movie Podcast. You can see all of my social media posts, all of my what's coming up next. Sunday, Nick, a live. I don't know if it's going to be Sunday or Monday yet. I've been saying it's Sunday, so fuck it. We're going to do Sunday night, 5 p.m. We're going to talk Michael Myers one last time before the year's over. Halloween Part 4, The Return of Michael Myers. If you want to hop on and join, and talk about Michael, you can. Since our podcast started in 2018, we've talked the Halloween movie at least once or twice a year. So 2 years ago we talked Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Last year and this year we wrapped up David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy. So we're continuing the trend with Halloween 4. Next year, of course, is going to be Halloween 5. But yeah, this year's Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. So a lot of people consider this is where Michael starts getting into trash movies. We'll see. I think it'll be a fun conversation. So that's what we're talking about Monday. Yeah. Michael Myers. But next week, November 2nd, it is going to be on a Wednesday. I promise you guys this time, unless
November 3rd.
November 3rd, yeah, for sure. I promise, and unless life just gives me the fucking shaft, we're going to do it on Wednesday. Next Wednesday, November the 3rd. I'm excited. Nick's excited. This could be the biggest fucking review of all time. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. The OG, how a horror podcast. I'm gonna it's your fault, Nick. I'm blaming you. How a horror podcast from Texas has not done the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre yet. I don't know how, but I'm glad I get to talk to you about it next week. I think this is going to be a fun conversation. So much legacy, so much history behind this movie. I think it's going to be a fun conversation, and I honestly can't wait to talk to you about it next week. I'm just stoked. I was in Houston, Texas, honestly, this past weekend for work, and Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I couldn't believe I was scrolling through the channels. Hotel rooms, they hardly have shit in there on TV anyway. But I was scrolling through the channels, and right when I got to Showtime, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre started. And I was like, whoop-de-damn, look what I'm watching. So I watched it a little bit last week. I'm going to watch it again before next Wednesday. And, it's just I don't know. Hopefully my view hasn't changed since I watched the whole thing last year. But I think it'll be a fun conversation. And you know what, Nick? I think you've seen them all. But I was hoping to save this for next week. But I was hoping if I could take a little bit of me and we could take a little bit of you and we could just make a little baby and put everything together. And I don't know, it's up to you. You got to say yes or no. But what if next week we ranked our top 5 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies? I mean, I just imagine what it would look like. I don't know. It's up to you. I know this might be touchy for some people, but what if next week, and I'm going to play around here. So if you guys are watching this, don't get mad at me. But just imagine, Nick, what if you're watching this next Wednesday and you just see this pop up? The top 5 on Friday the 14th podcast.
What universe am I living in?
Exactly. Like, is this Andrew Garfield? Is this Tobey fucking Maguire? What the hell's going on? But
top 5.
I think it would be fun. You guys have talked a lot about different or Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. You guys have talked the beginning, the remake. We've talked about
the
Next
remake,
Generation.
Next Generation, the 22, 21.
Yeah, the 21 movie. So I think it would be fun. We can kind of have like a little retrospect of all the different Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies next week, and I think it would be fun to rank the top 5 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies next week with you, 1-on-1.
What I want, the right one.
Yeah, I think it makes for a huge fun episode next week, and I think that'd be fun.
I'm ready. That means I gotta do some homework.
Got to do some homework, man. I'm starting mine tonight. I think I'm gonna watch. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Yeah.
And I want to get a part 2 on 4K, but probably won't happen until like a week or 2.
Yeah, you don't have time for that shit.
Damn it! Watch it digitally.
So you gotta watch it. So that's what I brought to the table for next week. I think that'd be fun. I'm excited. Next week, November the 3rd, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the OG. So, Nick, I don't know if there's anything else you want to add, but I think the next week that'd be fun. Great conversation today. The number 23, Friday the 14th, UHD. At least for me, Nick, always a pleasure. Great conversation.
Same here. Well, Darren, I guess just a big shout out to Wasteful Flavors. Get that the design.
What is that? Whistle Flavors?
Wasteful.
Is that like a popsicle?
Uh, popsicle is like an ice cream
Oh,
design.
nice. Hell yeah.
It's a dog. Yeah, it's a brand. I think there's an online site you can purchase the stuff. Mainly designs that they're like a creepy doll design, or like there'll be some cool interesting designs. Like it looks like a like diner.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, we'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Stay ultra.